Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is the join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that.
Well, the situation with regard to the body of the late President Edgar Lungu seems to be heating up again. For a while, it had cooled down. It was looking like the only big news we were going to get from this particular situation was the verdict from the South African courts. But I guess I was wrong. It seems like the last 48 hours, a lot has happened around this case. So, according to DWTV, they say Barry Lungu here, and Zambians who flood and civic groups won South Africa. So there is an alleged group in South Africa that his remains or his grave, and then probably become illegal immigrants of some sort. Pretty much that's the insinuation there. But on the other hand, Jonas Zimba, part of the Lungu, Edgar Lungu family lawyers, he works with Makebi Zulu mostly. He addresses Enoch Kavindele. As you remember, Enoch Kavindele was like the head of the Zambian delegation that went to negotiate for the body of Edgar Lungu's return or repatriation with the family in South Africa. And then it should have been like, if not 48 hours ago, 3 days ago, he made a statement which was insinuating to say some of the people that were negotiating were former heads of state from the SADC region. And one of the conditions they had put across was that they demanded that the Zambian government drops the court cases that it has against the Lungu family, and then probably that be one of the conditions for his body to be brought back into Zambia. To which Jonas Zimba has responded to Enoch Kavindele, saying, lawyer Jonas Zimba is challenging Enoch Kavindele to name the regional presidents who were demanding that the legal cases against former President Edgar Lungu's family be dropped in exchange for his repatriation or his remains. Recently, Kavindele, who is a former vice president, alleged that while having negotiations for the repatriation of the former president's remains, some regional leaders wanted the government, that's the Zambian government, to drop cases against Lungu's family in exchange for his remains. However, in an interview on Wednesday, as Jonas Zimba, who is president, who was present during the negotiations, argued that no such issue was mentioned. I was in the meeting, and all the meetings I attended in this country today, and the elders are not helping this situation or helping too much. The elders have the duty to unite the country and not to speculate. So pretty much the lawyer is saying, I was actually present during that meeting, and he has no recollection of such an engagement where SADC presidents of some sort demanded that the cases be dropped. So he is asked to say, okay, fine. If Kavindele is claiming that, let him name the regional presidents that did that. That's the argument from the lawyer there. But on the other hand, the Republican president, Hakainde Hichilema, should have been just like hours ago. He was addressing the media, and he brought up the issue of the burial. And part of the statement, I'll play you the video. You're simply saying there's still some back office or back end engagement between the Zambian government and the Hakainde, the UPND government and the Lungu family in South Africa. And to which Emmanuel Mwamba, as even though Emmanuel Mwamba is part of the inner crowd of the Edgar Lungu family, he says there are no such meetings. No, you are not. So pretty much saying that whatever the president said here there are no such engagements. But let me stand by, let me play you the video of what the president was talking about, to which Emmanuel Mwamba responds to say there are no such engagements between the Zambian government and the Edgar Chagwa family. Just stand by, let me play you President Hakainde Hichilema's speech in this particular
the funeral in the manner African funerals must be handled, to respect the dead, to bury them with dignity. President Buhari died in London. He was brought home. We too have shown that example by burying all the 5 before the 6th president near here. I think it's just behind, isn't it? Near here, all the 5. So we've established a tradition, protocols in line with the African culture. So we must continue with that culture, no matter what challenges, what difficulties there are. And I can't say that we've continued engaging the family quietly. Maybe I should confirm that. We've continued engaging the family quietly, because that's what it should be. And we do hope that consensus will be reached. And I want to ask Zambians, first, thank you for your patience, and secondly, to ask you to retain that patience as discussions continue, and so we can do what is right.
So it's to that statement where the president was saying we continue to engage the family quietly in the background. That's the one Emmanuel Mwamba is refuting, to say there are no engagements with the Lungu family, because the only engagement at this point is between the Zambian government through the Attorney General and the Lungu family in court, the South African court. Anything outside that is not aware of it, and there is nothing of that sort. That's the feedback coming from the Lungu family, pretty much saying whatever President Hakainde Hichilema was talking about there is not true, according to Emmanuel Mwamba, an insider from the Lungu family. But considering Emmanuel Mwamba is not the family spokesperson, the only person that can confirm or not confirm whether there are still those engagements, it has to be Makebi Zulu, which I suspect is likely to address the media of some sort. That's if he decides to, because I think today they're having a court hearing of some sort with regard to the developments in South Africa and the fight between the Zambian government and the Lungu family over the repatriation of the body. So if Makebi Zulu does not say it, we cannot use Emmanuel Mwamba's disputing President Hakainde Hichilema's engagements as gospel truth, because Emmanuel Mwamba isn't the family spokesperson as things stand. And then Katuka, that's a member of Parliament, Shengi, independent member of Parliament, Reverend Katuka Moelwa, pretty much she's talking about the government should pretty much try to take care of the widow, that's the former First Lady Esther Lungu, and the family, and she quotes the Bible verse there. Obviously, Mao Sampa also weighs in. This is a Matorial member of Parliament. Plays the same video that I played you earlier on of President Hakainde Hichilema, and then he laughs it out loud. He says, engaging the family quietly, but on rogue social media, social media blogs, praise singers and party members hired guns and big bokosi etc. to continue insensitively mock and slander, defame and insult and cyberbully the widow and family. So Mao Sampa is simply saying, how can the president say he's engaging the family quietly and privately when he mentions some media platforms which he alleges to say they are more inclined to, they're pretty much like the UPND rogue pages, according to him, and they are slandering the Lungu family. That's according to Mao Sampa there, though he did not tag any pages, he just left it open. And this is what is being referred to by DWTV, where they're referring to say, South African civic movement under the banner of the Progressive Forces of South Africa. Once former Zambian President Edgar Chagwa Lungu be repatriated and buried in Zambia. At a press briefing, Rachel, Secretary General of Defense South Africa, said burying Lungu locally bury Lungu locally would be a national threat. If Lungu is buried here, referring to South Africa, whose flag do we lower, South African or Zambian? She asked. Zambians will come here saying they want to visit his grave, and many will end up staying. The Zambian government says it will respect the South African court ruling as tensions rise over Lungu's burial. His family claims he wished to be kept. He wished to keep President Hakainde Hichilema away from his remains. So that court case continues. So there's that group in South Africa that is fighting that to say let the body be brought back to Zambia because Zambians will become illegal immigrants in South Africa. Then obviously, Emmanuel Mwamba says he's spending too much money and effort on envoys and bad publicity. Yes, they wants the body. So referring to say that the statement that was made by President Hakainde Hichilema, saying they're still engaging the family, but the publicity that is going out isn't looking well. Like they're trying to find an amicable solution to this. On the other hand, Shifetayari continues to strike at the patriotic front. So he put up this image where he put up Michael Sata to say, Michael Sata, what would Sata say if he came back to life? Then he puts Edgar Lungu's image there also. He says in 2021, Michael Sata won power. In 2011, Michael Sata won power. And then in 2021, Edgar Lungu lost that power. In 2023, PF has no leader, pretty much like a PF is lost and there's factions within the PF. So what kind of leader leads from behind? Referring to Edgar Lungu there. But, so he says that's a throwback Thursday, according to Chifatayari. And then Buhari was sent for specialized treatment in the United Kingdom by government. They didn't scandalize or deny him medical treatment. That's the response to President Hakainde Hichilema from Emmanuel Mwamba, saying the way the Nigerians abide their former president, that's the way Zambians are supposed to do it. But Emmanuel Mwamba argues to say the treatment that Edgar Lungu was subjected to cannot be compared to what Buhari was given as a former head of state. So it's on the pretext of that argument, that's where the misunderstanding and the impasse is between the Zambian government and the Lungu family. So those debates continue, and then Chifetari goes and says, political mingalato. Well done, Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ. Let's get this political manda out of the way. No wearing amarigaria yawafwa. In my right sense, I would have criticized this, but so he's simply referring to a statement that is coming from Electoral Commission of Zambia, where they are burying PF regalia. It should be in the full by-elections to say, considering that the Patriotic Front is not participating in those by-elections, there is no need for any other party that is under the Tonse Alliance to use the Patriotic Front regalia as its marketing platform. So he's saying if he was in his right sense, he would have criticized that move by ECZ, but because now he's fighting the PF, he has no issues with that. And then Sam Milupi criticized the Emmanuel Mwamba, saying Edgar Lungu refused government's support through his personal doctor, secretary to the cabinet, as the correspondence, and it is in public domain. Don't mislead people, Emmanuel Mwamba. So he's referring to a statement where Emmanuel Mwamba was saying how Buhari was treated by Nigerians, or the Nigerian government being given the privilege to be taken care of and other medical bills paid by Nigeria. That's the same situation Lungu would have experienced had he not gone back into active politics. And not only that, he refused the help from government based on the correspondence coming from secretary to the cabinet, which he made public during the press brief when they had it between the Lungu family and the government of Zambia. To which Emmanuel Mwamba responds to say, government is now a family affair. It is strange that children of Msokotwane and Milupis and others have now joined the fray to defend the policies of their fathers and employer. We're used to fighting their parents, and now it's a full arsenal fighting the entire family. So it seems like this Sam Milupi is related to the minister Milupi. So he's saying now it's a family affair. But then again, that argument that Emmanuel Mwamba is putting across doesn't hold any water. In as much as this Sam Milupi might be related to the minister Milupi, he's still a Zambian. He's free to offer his opinions about issues. So just because he's related to a minister does not mean he's not free to offer his own political opinions. You just argue based off what he's saying. So I honestly don't feel that argument from Emmanuel Mwamba holds any water here in reality, because just because he's the son to a minister does not mean he does not have a political opinion. He's an independent Zambian who is free to have a political opinion, which is just offered. So argue based on the submission. His tribal remarks that he had used during the campaign one. So it seems like it's not appealing this time around. He's decided to serve out the sentence. And then Mao Sampa weighed in on the issue to say, our concern is not whether Chimbakambwe, the CK, was guilty or not. It's a moral argument on why others that publicly screamed similar tribal utterances are still free. It is a selective application of the law that is of public concern. So Mao Sampa argues to say, okay, fine, yes, Chimbakambwe has been found guilty and is going to serve his sentence. But one of the other people on the other side is referring to obviously that are more inclined to the UPND. Why are they not being arrested for the same thing and facing the same sentence? So he has to say that's where his concern is, not whether Chimbakambwe is guilty or not. He says the same law that has been used against Chimbakambwe should be used on those that are more government inclined, that have issued similar statements that are on public record. He goes further. This is still Mao Sampa. He takes a picture with Member of Parliament from Mambirima, June Chisenga there. And then the Real Times, Stadium will be arrested for the procurement of a procedure glitch in the purchase of a Gulfstream jet. Seems like that jet is still in the news. Daily Nation, we do not know about them. State House refers to, so that's a response coming from State House saying those people that are saying, those people that are making statements in South Africa are funded by the UPND government. Grayson Mamasaka says the Zambian government is not aware of those propagandists that are pushing that agenda. It's not from Zambia. Those are simply South Africans. So he was responding to Emmanuel Mwamba's push saying, no, those are funded by the UPND. So State House says, no, they do not know those people. The mass newspaper, Hakainde Hichilema lied on Edgar Chagwa immunity. If he had the two-thirds parliamentary majority, he would have jailed Edgar Chagwa, says Fred Membe there. So Fred Membe argues to say, that argument to say Edgar Chagwa immunity was never up for conversation or never brought up in parliament. Fred Membe simply says it's because Hakainde Hichilema did not have the majority, and that's why he never brought up the issue for it to be passed in parliament. But then again, you cannot make an assumption. The fact is that no, the president did not remove Edgar Chagwa immunity. So that's neither here or there. But anyway, Fred Membe feels that way about it. But in reality, what's on the ground, the fact is that his immunity wasn't removed. So this statement is neither here or there. But anyway, that's the news, ladies and gentlemen.